WWE Hall of Famer Goldberg returns Monday night on Raw confronting World Heavyweight Champion Gunther. Their World Heavyweight Championship match is now official for Saturday night's main event in Atlanta, Georgia. Liv Morgan sustains a dislocated shoulder in her match against Kairi Sane, which is stopped on Raw. Jey Uso advances to the semi-finals of the King of the Ring tournament. He was nearly attacked by Seth Rollins after the match, but Cody Rhodes came to stop him. Asuka returns to in-ring action once again, winning her match and advancing to the next round of the Queen of the Ring tournament. An Intercontinental Championship match is confirmed for Night of Champions. Corey Graves fills in for Pat McAfee on Raw. Several matches and segments are confirmed for next week's edition of Raw on Netflix. An injury update on Zoe Stark. We've got the ratings for Friday's edition of SmackDown. WWE are not planning to consider using Alberto El Patron despite the recent AAA acquisition. Several names have been announced for the WWE Super Show Mexico, including several AAA names. Commander has been pulled from an upcoming CMLL show due to injury. NWA have announced their 77th anniversary show, and Callie Armstrong is impressing those in WWE Evolve. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Before we begin, you can see right there, we're currently at 22,455 subscribers. So if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and join the ever-expanding WNU, that being the Wrestling News universe. In addition, you can become a member of the WN365 roster. Links in the video description below. You can click the join button or scan the QR code when it appears on the sidebar. You get your badges, your emojis, and your exclusive members-only content. Let's get in to Monday Night Raw last night, and one of the worst kept secrets is now confirmed. Goldberg is back in WWE. The rumours are now officially true. It's World Heavyweight Champion Gunther who's next, or rather, who will be last for Goldberg when the men face off at Saturday night's main event in Atlanta, Georgia next month. Goldberg returned during Monday's episode of WWE Raw when Gunther was in the ring celebrating his World Heavyweight Championship victory over Jey Uso last week. The ring general came out and declared that he had heard the chatter and rumours, but he was there to talk about reality. He said that he knew Seth Rollins was lurking with his Money in the Bank briefcase. He called him out and said he'd make it easy for Rollins, but it was Goldberg who answered Gunther's challenge. Goldberg said it was Gunther who started their issues, but it would be him to end them in the city where it all started. Of course, Goldberg was initially called out by Gunther at Bad Blood in Atlanta back in October of last year, while Goldberg was seated ringside with his family. Following the confrontation, Goldberg revealed on SEC Nation during college football season that he was gearing up for a retirement match sometime in 2025, and fans assumed he would challenge the ring general. Rumours began to pick up once again when it was revealed that Saturday night's main event would take place in Atlanta, Georgia, following AEW's All In Texas event earlier on in the day. Goldberg had previously revealed in recent weeks that he had suffered a few setbacks while training for his retirement match. He noted he was being treated with stem cells for lingering injuries to his back, shoulder, and his knee. Now, as I mentioned, the World Heavyweight Championship match is now confirmed for Saturday night's main event, upcoming on July 12th. It will be Gunther defending the World Heavyweight Championship against Goldberg. Now, it hasn't explicitly said that it's going to be the final match or it's going to be a retirement match, but indeed, that's what it's going to be for the former WCW World Heavyweight Champion. Now, Liv Morgan, an injury update when it comes to her. She had a busy night on Raw. First of all, she opened the show and exchanged words with the women's world champion Io Sky. The June 16th edition of Raw opened with an appearance from Liv Morgan and Dominic Mysterio. After celebrating some of her and Mysterio's accomplishments, Morgan addressed last week's attack on Nikki Bella, saying she is now on her couch where she belongs. Morgan also slighted Io Sky's comments about Nikki Bella paving the way, saying nobody paved the way for her, especially not Bella. Sky came out shortly after and criticised Morgan for whining and showing disrespect. Sky also stated that if Morgan wants the Women's World Championship, she'll have to earn it. To cap off the segment, Sky threw the belt in the hands of Morgan before blasting her with a dropkick. To add insult to injury, Sky also clocked Dominic Mysterio with a kick to his head. Now, as I mentioned, the night went from bad to worse for Morgan with a legitimate injury. Now, on the June 16th edition of Raw, the match between Liv Morgan and Kairi Sane came to a sudden halt after a takedown attempt as Morgan was checked on by doctors after rolling out of the ring. After a quick commercial break, Michael Cole and Corey Graves declared that Kairi Sane was the victor, revealing that Morgan was unable to continue the match. A few moments later, Cole announced that Morgan had suffered a dislocated shoulder in the match. Now, as far as more details on this was indeed legitimate. PW Insider is reporting that the injury is 100% legitimate and that WWE are waiting to see the severity of it before determining how much ring time Morgan is set to miss. Depending on the severity of the dislocation, she could be out of action for upwards of 16 weeks. Now, backstage, the injury was viewed as a freak occurrence and there's no heat on anyone for it. WWE appeared to be setting up either a singles match between Morgan and Nikki Bella at Evolution on June 13th, or a tag team match pitting Morgan and Rodriguez against the Bella twins, with Brie Bella in talks to return to the company. Now what the plans are, we'll have to wait and see. If we get any more details, we'll of course let you know in a future video. Jey Uso is in the semi-finals of the King of the Ring tournament. The June 16th edition of Raw was headlined by the final first-round match in the King of the Ring tournament as Rusev, Sheamus, and Big Bronson Reed faced off against Jey Uso in the fatal four-way match for the next round of the tournament. The final moments of the contest featured a ton of interference, starting with Bron Breakker, who shoved Uso off the top rope just seconds before he could hit Bronson Reed with a signature splash. Breakker's attack was then interrupted by Sami Zayn. Then Penta got involved, taking out Breakker after he disposed of Zayn. Bronson Reed took out Uso with a Death Valley driver before heading up to the top rope for a tsunami. LA Knight got involved, shoving Reed off the top rope. Uso took advantage of the situation, nailing Reed with a spear and 2 splashes to pick up the victory. Now, as a result, Jey Uso will face Cody Rhodes in the next round of the King of the Ring tournament. That match will take place on the June 23rd edition of WWE Monday Night Raw. Now, there was a bit of action that happened after this one too, involving the American Nightmare and the Visionary. Now, Jey Uso secured the win to advance to the next round of the King of the Ring tournament, but after the match, an angry Seth Rollins stormed to the ring and lined up Uso for a curb stomp. Coming to the ring to prevent that was Cody Rhodes. Rollins and Rhodes stared each other down before Rollins exited the ring. Of course, as I mentioned, there's a lot of history between these two, being rivals and also partners at WrestleMania events in recent years. Asuka is back in WWE in-ring action on the June 16th edition of Raw. The final first-round match in the Queen of the Ring tournament took place as Asuka, Stephanie McCurve, Raquel Rodriguez, and Ivy Nile competed in a four-way match. The final moments of the match were chaotic as Rodriguez went to pin Vaquer. Instead, Rhea Ripley showed up and pulled Rodriguez out of the ring, planting her on the floor with a riptide. Ripley proceeded to roll Rodriguez in the ring, allowing Asuka to take her out with a hip toss for the victory. With her win, Asuka moves to the next round of the Queen of the Ring tournament where she'll face Alexa Bliss. That match will take place on the June 20th edition of WWE Friday Night SmackDown. Now, an Intercontinental Championship match is confirmed for Night of Champions. AJ Styles will be going for gold. Nick Aldis, filling in for General Manager Adam Pearce, announced that Dominic Mysterio will defend his WWE Intercontinental title against AJ Styles at Night of Champions on June 28th. AJ defeated JD McDonough on Monday's WWE Raw and walked off with the IC title before returning it to Aldis. The match was later confirmed to be taking place at the upcoming event in Saudi Arabia. Corey Graves was back on Monday Night Raw last night. Corey Graves filled in for Pat McAfee on Monday's WWE Raw, serving as the color commentator alongside Michael Cole. This was Graves' first time back on the main roster since the new year. He was moved to WWE NXT when Raw moved to Netflix and McAfee returned. McAfee missed last Monday's WWE Raw as well. Wade Barrett filled in for him last week. Now, several matches and segments are confirmed for next week's edition of Raw on Netflix. First, the Women's Intercontinental Championship will be up for grabs as Becky Lynch will defend the title against Bayley. This will be Bayley's first match since being attacked by Lynch just days before WrestleMania 41. Also, 2 tournament matches will take place. In a Queen of the Ring semi-final match, Jade Cargill will take on Roxanne Perez. In a King of the Ring semi-final match, Cody Rhodes will take on one of his best friends in Jey Uso. Now, we have an injury update here on Zoe Stark after that gruesome injury she suffered recently on Raw. Now, following her injury on the May 19th episode of Raw, an AI video circulated with Stark saying she would have to retire. Many believe the video was real, including Zoe's own family, according to her. In a real video, Zoe stated she's not retiring anytime soon and is at the UFC Performance Institute rehabbing her injury. She underwent surgery for ACL, MCL, and meniscus injury stemming from her May 19th match. Let's talk about the ratings for Friday's episode of SmackDown on USA Network. The June 13th, 2025 edition of SmackDown featured not just one, but 4 Queen and King of the Ring tournament 4-way matches to determine the next round before WWE takes the finals to Night of Champions in Saudi Arabia. The never-seen 17 undisputed WWE champion John Cena also made an appearance to challenge the newly returned Ron Killings after being taken out by the former R-Truth. Even with tournament implications and a Cena appearance, the Blue brand was down 2% in the ratings compared to last week, according to Programming Insider. On the brighter side, as also reported by WrestleNomics, SmackDown was number 1 for the night on cable and 3rd across broadcast and cable, with the NBA Finals and pre-show taking spots 1 and 2. The episode saw an average of 1.401 million viewers, just slightly down from last week's average of 1.424 million. The average overall viewership for the episode was up 2% versus the trailing 4-week average of 1.37 million. The episode earned a 0.38 in the ever-important 18 to 49 demographic. The demographic rating also fell from last week, where it sat at a 0.42 after rising 24% from May 30. Viewership continues to lag well behind this time last year and is down 35% from where average viewership was in Q2 2024 at 2.25 million average viewers when the show, of course, was still on Fox. Now, a bit of an update here when it comes to Alberto El Patron possibly returning to WWE. While he is one of the top stars in Lucha Libre AAA worldwide, WWE's stance on Alberto El Patron, formerly known as Alberto Del Rio, has not changed amid WWE's acquisition of AAA. Bodyslam.net has reported that a WWE return for Alberto El Patron is not being considered, and there are no plans to explore using him in any capacity. There has been no outreach to Del Rio, no consideration within creative, and no mention of him as part of any future WWE plans. WWE's stance on using or not using Al Patron is also not expected to change. Now, he is actually under contract with WWE, but this is only due to his involvement with AAA, which WWE are in the process of buying along with Philippe in a deal that is expected to be completed later this year. WWE have taken steps to distance themselves from El Patron, including booking El Hijo del Vikingo to defeat him for the AAA Mega Championship. Vikingo then retained the title at Triple Mania Regia over the weekend. Speaking of AAA, several AAA stars have been announced for upcoming WWE shows in Mexico. WWE will head to Mexico for 2 events in July, with a July 26th event in Mexico City and July 27th event in Monterrey, Mexico. As part of a press release, it was announced that Mr. Iguana, Psycho Clown, and Pagano would be part of the upcoming shows. Now, Commander, he's not going to be competing in Mexico as part of a CMLL show. Commander is out of CMLL Fantastica Mania. Commander was scheduled to participate in the Fantastica Mania event on June 20th in a Trios Championship match, but has now been pulled from the event due to injury. CMLL announced on social media on June 16th that Commander would not be cleared to compete at the event, and as a result, Neon versus Kevin Knight and a match has also been added, while the previous Trios title match is now just Mascara Dorada and Mystico versus Bandido and Hologram. Now, of course, he was also due to compete at the Grand Slam Mexico this coming Wednesday, but looks like he's ruled out for that as well. An update here on a big NWA show. NWA 77 is coming to New York. The National Wrestling Alliance announced that NWA 77 will take place on August 16th from the Paramount in Huntington, New York. From the NWA, they said, quote, "The National Wrestling Alliance is bringing its annual anniversary show to the Northeast. The National Wrestling Alliance celebrates 77 years of history, legacy, and tradition at NWA 77 on August 16th at the Paramount in Huntington, New York. This is the first time the annual NWA anniversary event will be held in New York, making this, along with the recent Roku announcement, the perfect opportunity for fans to experience and celebrate the next chapter of the NWA." And finally, an Evolved talent is impressing WWE officials. Fightful Select say they spoke to sources in WWE that indicated that Callie Armstrong has turned heads of late, especially while working the recent Evolved tapings. There were people within the company who gave her high marks, as far as saying she could be a future WrestleMania main eventer. Those that Fightful heard from also said that she has already been discussed for a full-on call-up to the NXT roster. It was expected that she should get that call-up while serving as Evolved champion, as already regularly been working NXT live events. But there you go, guys. The latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe. As you can see right there, we're at 22,457 subscribers. So if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe. Join the ever-expanding WNU. In addition, you can become a member of the WN365 roster. Links in the video description below. You can scan the QR code when it appears on the sidebar right there. You get your badges, your emojis, and your exclusive members-only content. Appreciate everyone for tuning in. As always, really appreciate you all, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.